The Skies Were Never Meant for Us by Oren Cthulhu. The basic trait of human nature is curiosity. It is what defines us as a species. No matter what part of our beautiful planet we live in, we always look up to the skies and wonder, admiring the vastness of the cosmos, asking about our place in this magnificent world. Could we really be alone in the emptiness of space? A small spark of life that went against the natural order of entropy? Or are we just a part of a greater scheme? Just a tiny cogwheel in a world far more advanced than us? We asked ourselves these questions, but we never sat back and thought if we were prepared to receive real answers. Alas, our romantic view of the universe would be forgotten under the terror of the horrific truth. I guess H.P. Lovecraft was correct right from the start. In his cult classics, he wrote about gods so powerful and terrible in nature that they dreamed the world into existence and created humanity as a toy to pass their time through the eons. But we were lucky we were so small, so useless to them, so insignificant that they didn't even care to look down to us puny mortals. Should they ever choose to, though, humankind would be reduced to ash in the blink of an eye. Sometimes I think that the man had true visions of the reality outside our blissful ignorance and wasn't writing fiction, but history. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I am an astrophysicist. I work for the European Space Agency, or ESA for short. I would like not to reveal my name for the sake of anonymity, but I'm pretty sure I will be discovered sooner or later after posting this. Since my university days, I wanted to be a little bit different. So when everyone chose their thesis, fascinated by galaxies and nebulas, I decided to work on the more subtle things. I specialized on voids. These are dark places of the world with a very small number of galaxies inside them. I figured out that it would be the future of my research, since I would have less competition. Most people want to study stars and quasars either way, so I had an open field and lots of opportunities to discover. After graduating, I started studying the Boot supervoid, and to this day I am still working on that project. It is a huge void with a diameter of 330 million light-years long. Voids occur naturally throughout space, but it is really rare to see an emptiness so big, hosting only around 60 galaxies, when statistically there should be at least 2,000 of them, hence the name supervoid. I remember the day I started to realize the truth. It was my first day back to work after a well-earned 1 month of summer vacation. Me and my team had been observing a galaxy inside the supervoid. The galaxy had a strange tendency of dimming and lighting back up every few weeks, but every time when it got brighter, it lost some of its luminosity, never fully returning to its former glory again. That night, the galaxy was nowhere to be found. My colleagues hadn't noticed anything. We had agreed that they would go on with their personal projects, and that we'd have a look at the measurements taken when I was on leave together on the day of my return. But of course, the measurements read nothing. It was like the galaxy wasn't there in the first place. Like it had just dimmed out of existence. But whole galaxies don't just disappear like that. We composed a relatively short paper stating our insane findings, and we started working on a theory, discussing what could be behind the strange situation. In a few days, I was contacted by the big dogs themselves. It was NASA. A trip was scheduled in minutes, and in 2 days' time I was in a briefing room where I was about to learn that all my theories about the Boot supervoid were wrong. Before anything else, I had to sign a contract, swearing complete secrecy about the issue. I was burning with curiosity, so I obliged. You probably have heard about the theoretical civilization types, the scientist asked me. Of course I had. The Kardashev scale is a ranking system of intelligent beings, based on what amount of power they have command over. The maximum is thought to be Type 3, with beings able to control the full energy potential of the galaxy they inhabit. Humans were ranked a lowish 0.7, not even being able to take advantage of our planet's output. I nodded to the scientist and he continued. Now, imagine a civilization so evolved that it had transcended even that extraordinary limit. A species so advanced that it can manipulate and absorb multiple galaxies in their entirety. This is what we are dealing with here. It looks like Boot's void is empty, but in fact, it is full of life. The beings living in this area of space are so powerful, they absorb and use anything in their path. This is the sole reason why the Boot supervoid exists and appears to be so vast and empty. I shook my head in disbelief. Such a concept was nearly inconceivable. Only a god could reach such power, because God is the only description I could give to them. And there was more to come, to my troubled mind. Have you ever had contact with them? I naively asked. I knew that our radio waves had barely left our stellar neighborhood, but I hoped we may had received and decoded some of their messages. They transmit in thousands of wavelengths, but their language is so advanced that it seems to transcend the limitation of time. They speak to the past, the present, and the future simultaneously. We can only decrypt tiny parts of that pandemonium of signals, but we know that either way, they don't even address beings like us. Their message is a repeating pattern that has been going on for years. It's an SOS. They are asking for allies because they are in a war, and they are losing. A female colleague of his continued. They are searching for civilizations of the same caliber as them to help them, but they seem to completely ignore less advanced beings. To them, we are ants, helplessly running around their feet, completely useless in the grand scheme of things. They couldn't care less about whether we live or perish, and they would gladly destroy our solar system and the entire Milky Way if it meant they got some more power in their quest to save what they believe worthy. Because even they are fighting something even stronger than them. Wait, I asked. When did you learn all this? And what horrible power could be stronger than those beings? The woman spoke again. We knew all the way back in 2008, when we detected the strongest gamma-ray burst ever recorded. We understood it was a quasar-sized targeted missile of pure energy, which could pierce through an entire galaxy. But it had no effect on its target. After that, they showed me a simulation on the projector of the room. The Milky Way, and the entire supercluster of galaxies where it resides, seemed to be accelerating extremely fast to a certain region where other superclusters were also heading, seemingly drawn by an unknown force. This region was the target of the gamma-ray burst too. If we are correct, said the first scientist, the entities living there can swallow a galaxy cluster in a few months, making them the closest things to rulers of the universe. And it seems this is exactly what they lust for. And the stronger they become, the faster our inescapable doom. Because at this rate, they will be able to have enough power to absorb even a supercluster like it was a milkshake in a glass. They will not stop until they get what they want, and we are directly on their path to it. I don't know what to do with all this. I feel so helpless. Since then, I have been working with NASA to think of something that would save us. But there is nothing we can do. It's hopeless. If we were to upgrade as higher type of civilization, we should have done it already. There's no time left for us. We will never become strong enough to protect ourselves from the true forces of the cosmos. We will just hide in our caves like critters, too weak to even look into the eyes of our impending doom with the pride we once had. I do wonder sometimes about why these unimaginably strong beings lust for even more. Then I remember how humans fight over the bird crumbs of a tiny planet of zero significance, killing and enslaving our brothers in search of energy sources so primitive that they seem laughable. But it seems that everyone desires power, and the more of it you have, the stronger the addiction. I can't even imagine the level of ambition when the prize is total dominion of the universe. I was sworn to secrecy, but I have to break the silence. Either way, it just feels like it doesn't really matter. With the powers in play, we could be gone in 1,000,000 years, or just 10, and we won't even know when or how it will happen. But humans are curious. They have to know the truth. It is, after all, the only sense of control we have. So there you have it. We are not alone in the universe. I wish we were. We are not important to this universe. In fact, we are so powerless and measly that the monsters that will eventually destroy us won't even hear our screams. The next time you look up to the skies, pray. Pray that to the gods of the universe we are so insignificant that they never fix their eye upon us. Pray that we will never be important enough to gain their attention. It is our only hope of surviving just a bit more. Hi everyone, the Archivist here. Hope you enjoyed that story, and if you did, please do follow the channel. Follow us on Twitter at archivist_there, and there you'll be able to see plenty of ways you can help support us. Sleep well.